What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dead on Dave back once again. It's Friday. It's your daily focus, so that can only mean one thing, and that is a top 5 Friday. And I believe this will be the last day that the top 5 will be on Fridays, because I think the SmackDown move is next week. And if that is the case, we will be doing a little flippity flop, and the SmackDown review will be done on Fridays, and the top 5 will now be done on Saturdays. So enjoy your final top 5 Friday. But make no mistake, kids, the top 5s are not going away. And we got a really good one today. I'm excited about this one. I put a lot of thought into it, and I'm excited to share. Should be a lot of fun. It is the top 5 heel turns in history. I mean, the heel turn is so important. I mean, the swerve, the heel turn, the treachery, everything that goes along with it. They can make some magical moments. They can change careers. They can take things into places that stars and storylines have never gone before. And in some cases, they can alter wrestling history. So it's a very interesting thing, and there's so many great ones out there. I mean, my God. So I've got 5 for you. And honestly, even in my head, I'm not even sure what order they belong in. I think number 1, I think, is kind of obvious for everybody. So we'll get to that at the end. But I'm not going to put them in order. I'm not going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to give you the top 5 in my head as they are, because I think they're not only are they all equal in what they brought to the table, they're all great for different reasons. Each one did something a little bit different. They're not just heel turns for the sake of heel turns. And they're not just storylines for the sake of storylines. They did something. So we're going to talk about that. First, we're going to get to the notables, but that's not before I make note. See how I did that? Note of notables. To the little flashing thing here on the side of the gallery with all of the nice little pictures. You'll notice there's some good stuff in there, including every single one of the shows that I do on this channel. They're all represented in artwork form, and as you guys know, Dave Rose did all of that. Also, there's a really badass pic. There it is, by Isaac Rojas. I love it. I love it. I look like Zordon from Power Rangers. Thank you, Jake Link. Or maybe even Troy. I'm not sure. But I love this picture. Absolutely love it. I think it's great. I wanted to use it as a memorial for when I die, which could be any time. Who knows? I'm a walking heart attack waiting to happen. Also, you'll see in there my T-shirts. The T-shirt designs by the great Isaac Rojas as well. Dead on Dave now has a merchandise website, deadondave.spreadshirt.com. There are 2 shirts. More are coming. Very, very excited about it. I think it's great. I absolutely love them. I think it blows my mind that I have a shirt. It's crazy. Let alone 2. Also, we are steadily marching towards 500 subs. We are at 270. We should easily get to 300 by the end of the month. And it's all thanks to you guys for all the support, the likes, the shares. It all means a lot. So please continue to do that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Also, if you have ideas on how I can market this better, if there are places, Reddit it out. Put it on Reddit for me, because when I do it, when Tommy C does it, it's like we're self-promoting. But if you guys throw this stuff out on Reddit, it'll help out the channel quite a bit. So go ahead, use Reddit. Help me out a little bit. Throw it on Reddit. Throw it on other channels. If there are any other places that you guys know that would welcome videos of this caliber, please hook a brother up. Tell me in the comment section below, or get in touch with me on Skype, whatever, or on Facebook. There's all these little things here. Tweet me. Tweet me, Facebook me, or contact me directly through YouTube, whatever, I'm accessible. So let me know, because I'm trying to grow this thing, and it's been great. It's been a great ride. Also, Creators Corner. Jaron did the Creators Corner this week. He did a really good job. I'm really happy with it, how it went. I think it was a different type of Creators Corner. I got another one next week. Should be a lot of fun. Again, a different type of interview. If you want to be on Creators Corner and tell your story, what you create, whatever it is you do, let me know right here. If you do music, whatever, I don't care. Music, comedy, if you draw amazingly, if you do artwork, whatever. If you do talk shows just like this and you want to talk about it, free publicity right here. Talk about it. I'll plug it. We'll, whatever. Play some clips. Fuck around with assholes. Who gives a shit? Come on here. Let me know about it, and we'll get you on. I do interviews for it all the time. So just let me know in the comment section below if you would like to be on Creators Corner, and I will do my best to make it happen. Okay? So, with all of that being said, I think it's time to get to the countdown. But it's not really a countdown. It's just a list. Also, a quick update. Turtle has not ate those fish yet. It hasn't happened. That's good. It's a good thing. The turtle seems to be adjusting. The fish, they're being fish. So, life is good at the Vancura household. All right, let's do this, shall we? Let's get right into it. Let's start with the notables. I got 4 that were awesome, and I want to talk about, but they don't do the same things for me as the other ones do. So let's start with Owen Hart kicking Bret Hart's leg out, January 22nd, 1994. The kick that changed Owen's career. This heel turn, it was quite special because, whenever it's brothers, it means a little bit different. And Owen never seemed like he belonged with Bret, the way that they interacted with each other. So, and I feel Owen was better than Bret. And I know that's not a very popular comment, but I really believe Owen's one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. So, yeah, and as well as Bret. If I have to put a listing in order, they probably go 7-6 on my list. Bret 7, Owen 6. That's just me. I know. How dare you put Bret Hart at 7? You fuck. It's my opinion, asshole. Get over it. Or come over to Germany. I'll take out my dick, and you can fucking nurse on it. Okay? How about that? One of my favorites also was in 1990. I remember 89 and early 90, I was like, Sting is a horseman. I can't believe it. Stinger is a horseman. What? And February 6th happened, and they just leave him for dead. Just left him. That's a great one. I love it. Anything to do with the Horsemen. The Horsemen really turned their back on a lot of people. They ate their own quite a bit. If you weren't running with the Horsemen, then you were being trampled. Real fucking simple. How did anyone think that Sting and the Horsemen would be a unit very long anyway? I mean, come on. Paul Bearer, when he betrayed The Undertaker in 1996, that one stuck with me. That one was hard to not put on in the actual top 5 list because it was so good. It was so good. And going with Mankind and then like with Kane and all of this stuff, bringing in Kane, it was just, God, what a great storyline. And it often gets forgotten, but it is what it is. The final one on this list, or on the notables list, is Bret Hart. I'm going to go back to Bret Hart and give him a little bit of love here because his heel turn, the official turn, not the match with Stone Cold, which was the double turn that everyone likes to talk about. I can't give it that date because nobody really knew what the repercussions of that match would be until the next night when the change of fan interaction and fan perspective on Stone Cold Steve Austin happened. But Hart's actual heel turn came to fruition really on a Raw on March 24th, 1997, when he gave his anti-America condemnation speech. When he hit that promo, when he really shot America to the ground, that is when we really got heel Hart. And the funny thing is, this is one of the... Bret Hart hated this time. He hates this part of his legacy. He hates that. He would have been... Even though people forget he was a heel with the Hart Foundation for a long time with Jimmy Hart. People forget that. But he hated this anti-America, the heel Hart thing. God damn it. He hated it, and he talks about it. He just did not like doing it. And, but it's arguably it's his best period. I mean, what did he do better than this? I mean, okay, yeah, his in-ring work was great. But I'm talking, this is when we really cared. Caring about Bret Hart was easy at this point. This is when I was like, ooh, be careful, Bret, you're winning me over. You know, it's just how it was. So those are my notables. I have so many more, it's not even funny. I mean, this list is very difficult because of all the turns. I mean, the Triple H turn on Shawn Michaels, which one really? That was great. I liked when Shawn Michaels kicked Hulk Hogan. That was great. There's so many others. Even the Seth Rollins one on the Shield I thought was really well done. Dean Ambrose didn't react too well to it. I mean, his facial expression, but the stop motion and just like, hit him, Seth. You know, it was. But there's plenty of good ones. Triple H joining the corporation. That's a great one. There are so many good ones throughout history. But let's get to the list, shall we? Let's do this and let the hatred begin. First one I'm going to talk about probably would be 5. I'm going to try to put numbers. I guess I'm kind of flipping on this, but I'm going to try to put numbers on. And this would probably be 5 on the list. This one is on here because of the weirdness of it. It was a time. It's Terry Funk turning on Ric Flair, May 7th, 1989. And why this was interesting is because it was after the conclusion of Flair and Steamboat, and really kind of the conclusion of their rivalry in a lot of sense. But it was a trilogy of matches that Steamboat and Flair had that are really considered some of the greatest in history. And if you haven't seen them, just go to 1989, 1988, and Google and wrestling or whatever, and wherever you used to watch your wrestling, and watch these series of matches with between these two. They really are amazing. And towards the build up toward the final, the title match, the big one, when Flair was going to try and get the title back, and it seemed like he was running Steamboat down, boy, running him down. And it was crazy. The weird thing that was going on at the time was Terry Funk was there, who I believe he was returning from an injury at that point, or he was just entering the company, one of the two, and he was serving as a judge just in the event of a draw, which was pretty cool concept that we don't ever do anymore. Okay, friggin' Flair loses the match, okay, after a great matchup. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Flair won the match. Excuse me. Flair won the match. Jesus, my head. I got a really bad headache, by the way. Flair wins the match. My notes are all kind of kerflubbled. He wins the match, and right after winning it, getting the title back from Steamboat in a real iconic match, Flair was being very humble and, thanking Steamboat and all of this stuff. If I remember correctly, he was, talking about what type of a competitor he was. And Funk gets in the ring, and everyone's just kind of like, what's going on? Terry Funk kind of forcibly says he wants a title shot. And Flair kind of dismisses him. He kind of just brushes him off. He does but he doesn't do it in a typical Ric Flair manner. He's like, you got to wait your turn. And after that kind of happened a couple times, Funk was a little bit perturbed, but then he kind of turns the cheek a little bit, and he goes to apologize to Rick for disturbing him in that manner right after he wins the belt. And that apology quickly turned into a beatdown. And this was a very interesting thing that happened because it was different for Flair to be beaten like this. Go watch this thing. Terry Funk beats the holy hell out of Flair. He really does. And they would basically wage war on each other for the rest of 1989. And it was a great match, a great series of matches. Probably the highlight of Terry Funk's career outside of all the extreme shit, I would say. That's what I would venture to say. So that's what I would put at number 5. Sorry, I kind of stumbled through that a little bit. 4, Vince McMahon, the actual heel turn for most people, at least the information I was looking up. When do most people feel that Vince McMahon really turned heel? Of course, everyone talks about the Brett versus Brett promo. Maybe that was it. Some people think even maybe a little bit before. There's all of that, but I feel the actual moment was April 13th, 1998, when he accepted the fight against Stone Cold Steve Austin on Monday Night Raw. When that happened, that changed things. That was when this was not just a squabble. This was a rivalry. This was a war. And it's when it, not only did it turn the ratings on its friggin' head, but it changed the course of 3 things. It changed the course of Monday Night Raw and the WWE, that time WWF. It created the greatest heel in the history of wrestling in Vince McMahon. Say what you want. There has never been a greater heel, on-screen character heel, than Vince McMahon. And people can put in Roddy Piper and all that, and maybe that's a fair criticism. Maybe it's a fair, point. But Vince McMahon is the greatest heel of all time. And this is when that began. So it was quite interesting. And it was a lot of fun. Vince is an absolute psychopath, and we didn't realize that he was in good shape underneath those damn suits that he wore. So I remember when he came out to the ring and he was in really good shape, and he slapped the fuck out of Austin. I mean, it was one of those things, man. It was good TV. It turned the tide in the ratings war, and the rest is history. When you talk about things like this, to put them in a list and to put them in order, there has to be different reasons as to why each one matters. This one matters for no other reason than it created the greatest heel and maybe the greatest rivalry in the history of wrestling. So, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels are one of my favorite tag teams. They didn't make my list when I did tag teams last week, but they're up there. The Rockers were great. They were different. They were exciting. A lot of fun. They were having a lot of problems in 1991. They were losing matches. They didn't seem to be on the same page. And the problem seemed to stem with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was getting a little more brash, a little more cocky, and not focused. They were losing matches because of that. Shawn kind of wanting to be in the spotlight. Shawn kind of wanted to be in charge. And it was just quite an amazing thing that was going on. But, you figured that the Rockers, they're going to get through this. So, on December 3rd, 1991, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the Accolade. The Accolade. He had all kinds of different names. Over the Booty Man, the Zodiac. He had all kinds of different stupid-ass names, always in Hulk Hogan's universe, of course. He's probably still hanging out with Hogan right now, to be honest. And, well, Brutus Barber Beefcake decided, hey, let's do an episode of The Barbershop, and I'll have him on, and we'll squash this, and we'll get it all ironed out. Shawn Michaels, looked like he was going to reconcile, all the while doing all the heel things, calling himself the captain of the team and all of that. Whatever, but it looked like, hey, they're going to be okay. And then all hell broke loose. Shawn super kicks him in one of the nicest super kicks he's ever hit, really. And then giving us one of the greatest visuals in wrestling history when he throws Marty Jannetty through the glass in the barbershop. It's one of the single most beautiful visuals we've ever had. I mean, in 91, that was fucking edgy. In 91, that made people cry. My only regret is that this feud could not have been settled. You know, Jannetty had some police problems that really screwed up a great WrestleMania match. WrestleMania 8 was the plan. It would have been epic, and it didn't happen because, you know, he fought the law and the law won. But what a great moment. And what did it do? Why does it belong on this list, especially at 3, since I'm now putting numbers on shit? Because it gave us the career of Shawn Michaels. Without that moment, if they would have done it in a different manner, would Shawn Michaels have been the star that he became? It's hard to say that. And, I mean, geez, what a great moment. It's one of my favorite things of all time. I would like to put a little bit higher, but I can't. And that's because 2 and 1 are so important to wrestling history. One, of course, you're going to know. The other one, you might not really know. But you know, if you're a longtime wrestling fan, you're going to understand the importance of this historical rivalry. In 1982, Ric Flair was defending the NWA World Heavyweight title against one of the Von Erichs. Kerry Von Erich, excuse me. My notes are all fucked up. Against Kerry Von Erich, and Michael Hayes was chosen to be the guest enforcer, guest referee. During the match, late in the match actually, and remember, this is in the heart of Von Erich country in Dallas, Texas. It was inside of a steel cage. That's why they wanted the enforcer there. Late in the match, Hayes lays out Flair, giving Von Erich complete opportunity to win the title. But Kerry, in Von Erich fashion, would not take the win. So instead, he goes for the door to leave. But Terry Gordy, another member of the Fabulous Freebirds, slams it on his head. Ric Flair capitalizes. Flair retains. But what it does is it sets into motion and ignites one of the greatest rivalries between multiple people in history. The Freebirds and the Von Erichs revolutionized wrestling in the 80s. If you were in the South and you had nothing to do on any given night, guess what? You're going to watch the Freebirds and the Von Erichs beat the fuck out of each other. And it's that simple. I mean, people underestimate and many times forget the importance of the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. Great for completely different reasons, these two teams really were. And I just remember the reaction. You know, you watch the video and see the reaction of it's too good. It's too good. And the visual of Gordy slamming that door on Von Erich's head, my God. It's too good. What a great moment. It's so much fun. And it started something that changed everything for wrestling fans. And it changed everything because it lasted forever. I mean, this feud lasted forever. The only reason why the feud probably stopped is because the Von Erichs kept offing themselves. Fuck. And maybe they did it because they didn't want to deal with the fucking Freebirds no more. Who knows? Just kidding, Von Erichs. You know I love you. Anyone who's still around. Number one, okay, it's too easy. That was my problem with doing the heel turn. Because it's too easy. The number one is too easy. All the other ones people are going to argue about. But I don't think there's any argument on what number one is. He's got it. Who's the third man? Oh my God, Hogan's the third man. Oh, he has betrayed WCW. You know, Heenan, who I forgot to mention, Heenan is responsible for two great moments in two of these heel turns. Because in the barbershop one, the Shawn Michaels one, Heenan's reaction to that was one of the reasons why it was so good. And it was right when it looked like they were going to make up, Heenan goes, see, one without the other's no good. And then, boom, the super kick. I knew he was going to do that. He doesn't need Jannetty. Oh, it was just too good. It was too good. I absolutely love Heenan. I would have loved to have seen Heenan be in charge and manage Michaels for a while. That would have been cool to see. I want to say they did pair for some reason. Really can't remember why, but I would have loved to have seen Heenan manage Michaels because he's his type of guy if you think about it. I mean, I don't know. So, in this one, in Hogan's heel turn, Bobby Heenan goes off about, I told you for years this guy is no good. I warned you. I told you. Nobody wanted to listen to me. You know, the outsiders coming in and laying waste to everybody. And they really did. Baseball bats, takeovers, beatdowns. This was in 96. People still, the internet wasn't hot. There was still all kinds of, the lines were blurred. And this blurred the lines. The invasion angle really blurred the lines between WWE and WCW and what's real and what's not. And everything was going to be settled at the Bash at the Beach when Lex Luger, Sting, and Randy Savage were going to take on the outsiders, and they promised they were going to have a third guy. They come out, no third man. Luger gets hurt during the match, and it just left Sting and Macho Man. Or it was Macho Man that got hurt. Somebody got hurt. But Savage comes back out if he was the one who got hurt. And, no, it was Luger who got hurt. So Macho Man's getting beat down, and he's in the middle of the ring, and Hulk Hogan comes out. And the crowd goes wild. Everyone's freaking out. Hogan gets in the ring, goes to the corner, and drops the leg on Savage and WCW. And it was so apropos, so appropriate because of the team that Savage and Hogan did. I mean, yes, would it have done the same thing as far as the betrayal had he dropped it on Sting? But for him to drop it on Savage was such a poignant thing. It was so important. And I was a Hulkamaniac. I was a fan. I was a kid at this time. What was I? I was 13. I guess I was a teenager. And I was so into wrestling. This made me cry. I actually cried, like real boy tears over this because Hogan, telling everyone to stick it and just not giving a shit. I was just devastated by the entire thing. And I think a lot of people were. It really changed history. And the funny thing is, Nash tells this story that it was never supposed to be Hogan as the third man. Hogan was approached by Bischoff, and and he told Bischoff, brother, you don't understand what it's like to wear the red and yellow, brother, and all this stuff. Hogan was not giving up Hulkamania. It just wasn't happening. So it was going to be Sting. Sting was supposed to be that third man. And that would have been cool. It would have been cool. Somewhere in this, I think it was the revelation to Hogan that it was supposed to be Sting. As Kevin Nash put it, Hogan saw the dollar signs that were on the side of the train that was about to leave the fucking station. And if you know anything about Hulk Hogan, especially at that time, that train was not leaving without him, baby. He was getting on that train, and you better fucking believe he got on it. He got on the train. He said, you know what? I will do it. And he did it, and it changed everything. Hogan being the third man and betraying WCW and betraying children, betraying wrestling fans, betraying me personally, changed wrestling. It really did. And for 2 years, WCW all but buried Vince McMahon in the WWF because of it. So that is why it's number one. That's why it's so easy to put it at number one, because there is not a more pivotal moment in wrestling history than this. And it's unfortunate that Bischoff and Hogan and Nash and countless fucking others could not get out of their own way. Russo, Jarrett, all of you motherfuckers could not get out of their own way and see how to keep this going and make it important and make it last without completely alienating everybody, which is what they did. So, for all of those reasons, that's easily number one. I did end up putting numbers on it. You know what? As I did it, it became pretty easy. That's exactly the order I wanted to put them in, too. It kind of came out perfectly. I have no reservations about the order at all. I'm sure I missed some that were great. I don't know if they're any greater than the 5 that I listed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm always looking for more top 5s. I mean, I got a million top 5s that I can do in my head, but I really want to focus on things that I'm super passionate about. And that's kind of what this whole channel is about. It's about, I'm talking about things that matter, and you guys are hopefully getting something out of it and interacting with me. It's so important. So let me know what you guys think. Share in the comments below. Make sure you're checking out all the videos on the channel and all my buddies, Tommy C, fucking Joe Cronin, Dave Rose. He does a show Friday, Saturday nights, The Dark Show on Google Hangouts. You know, find that. Make sure you do all that. Special thanks to all the viewers and the commenters and people who are very interactive with the show. Flaming Daddy, Abstract Muscle, Lauren Darkin, Badass Muffin, Small Afro Games, Jaren, just shout out to you. So many people, and people behind the scenes who are just so pivotal in getting this show together and helping me out with ideas. You know, thank you guys. I appreciate it, and we're continuing to grow. Make sure you remember, when we get to that 500 mark, we will be doing a big giveaway of all the items from there's my unboxings thing. Look at that. Boom. Perfect timing. We'll be doing a giveaway of items that I've been taking out from the unboxings. Should be getting another one soon, so look for that video. And tomorrow, join us for the SmackDown review. Other than that, I think I'm out of here. I have a fucking migraine in the back of my head, and I need to lay down. So I'm going to chill out. You guys have a really good evening, and I will talk to you later. There's that awesome picture again. Look at it. Look at that guy. He's so cute. Peace.